All right, good soggy morning, and welcome to Live from Currituck Extension. My name is Cameron Lowe, and I'm your County Extension Director for North Carolina Cooperative Extension here in Currituck County. And what that means is I get to oversee a fantastic group of professionals, one of which is Mr. Billy Caudle. And Billy has put together the program for us today, and he is going to lead us through. So, Billy, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you take over.
Well, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about an idea that I came up with for a victory garden. And we put together a little video that will explain a lot about that. And so basically, just a little history. Back a long time ago, people started in the wars, people started putting little gardens in around their houses and stuff to help with food production. And it helped their neighbors and their community. So I thought, what a cool way to do that, to inspire others to help their neighbors and their communities by starting their own little victory garden. So let's take a look at our video about victory gardens, and then we'll discuss it later. Okay?
Sweet. I'm looking forward to this, Billy. Hey, just a reminder to viewers, if you guys have any questions or comments, we do have live comment box if you're with us on YouTube. If you're with us on Facebook, you can also enter some live comments there, and we can have a real conversation. All right, Billy, let's see what you got for us on this video.
Okay.
Well, hello there. This is Billy Caudle, and I'm with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Currituck Center. And I want to tell you today about a little idea I came up with, and that was to start a victory garden. What is a victory garden, you say? Well, it's a small space where you plant vegetables, okay? And the idea behind that was from a long time ago during World War I and World War II, where citizens were encouraged to plant small gardens to help out with food production. Now, we're not in a war now, but we are in somewhat of a situation. And I think a great idea would be to plant a victory garden to help produce vegetables that you can have at home, you can use with your family, you can help give to your neighbors, you can share with your community. So the first thing I thought about when I came up with the idea to make a victory garden is, where in the world would I do that? So I started looking around my neighborhood or my yard, and I came up with a spot. So if you'll come with me, let's go outside and I will show it to you. So last year, my neighbor had a little garden here, and this year she decided she's not going to use it again. So she's given me permission to put our little community garden here. Notice it needs a lot of work. So the first thing we're going to do is clean it out and work it up so it can be planted. Now, we've done some work cleaning this garden out. It's not very big. It's about 9 feet by 9 feet, but it was a chore. And so we've got it all cleaned out, and now it's ready to plant. So now our next decision is, what should we plant? In our small space, I've decided we're going to do a couple of varieties of lettuce, which are always good and very usable. We're going to do a variety of squash, which is an early summer. And then we've got some space enough to do okra, and then some Brussels sprouts. And we're going to basically divide our space into quadrants of equal sizes. So we'll basically have 4 sizes. In one quadrant, we'll plant lettuce, 1 squash, 1 okra, and 1 Brussels sprouts. So when it comes to how to plant each seed, the best place to look is on the backs of the seed packet. There will give you a lot of information about planting instructions and suggestions for planting. It will tell you days of germination, how deep to plant it, how long to harvest, and spacing requirements. So each seed packet has information on the back. So follow those directions when you're planting your garden. So here is our garden. If you'll notice, I have used some string to divide the garden into quadrants. And in each quadrant, I have placed seed packets. So that'll give me an idea of what I'm going to plant where. So I'm trying to be a little bit organized with this. So now that we've got it organized and figured out where we're going to plant everything, it's time to plant. This quadrant is going to be our lettuce. This quadrant here is going to be okra. This quadrant here is going to be Brussels sprouts. Finally, our squash will go in this quadrant right there. So now, as you can see, our little victory garden has been planted and it's been watered. And now all we have to do is wait for things to start to grow. Well, I hope you've learned a little bit about victory gardens, and I hope that you've been inspired to start thinking about starting your own. It's very easy to do. It will make you feel good about yourself when you help your neighbors, your family, and your community. So I challenge you to start your own victory garden. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was a great, that was a fun video to put together. I wanted to say a couple things. Last year, we grew a good bit of lettuce at our community garden at Cooperative Extension, and it was really well received. Now, when you think of lettuce, you probably think of like a head of lettuce, which is more of an iceberg type or a romaine or something. But we grew some leaf lettuce, which is what I planted this year. And, you know, you can go out there and clip off with a pair of scissors and just enjoy really fresh greens all the way through frost time. And we were giving that stuff away right and left. People were taking it home. So I was trying to think of things that we could enjoy for a long period of time, as opposed to just, you know, you plant corn, it grows, you harvest, and you're done.
Right.
This stuff moves forward. We also used seeds to plant our garden. And of course, that's a very low cost way because seeds don't cost very much. But when you're in a garden center or something, you can also buy plants, tomato plants or pepper plants that are already up and plant that way. And things happen a lot faster. Now we're just having to sit here and wait for about 10 days before things do start to pop out. So that's important. If you're like me, you like results quickly.
Yeah, that waiting for those seeds to pop up out of the ground takes a long time, but boy, it's exciting when they do.
It really is, and I'm looking forward to it. In addition, Brussels sprouts are the coolest thing in the world to grow. Now, a lot of people don't like them. I like them just fine, but they grow in a stalk, and there's these like little pop things, almost like popcorn or something, that grow up the stalk. And you can even trim the thing. I've seen where they trim them and they have the leaves at the top, and it really looks almost like a palm tree growing.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun. Another kind of assumption that we make with this little video is that you live in a house or have a yard. And a lot of people don't. You might live in an apartment and not have a space outside. So other options include growing plants in a container. And I believe that tomorrow, our ag tech, Chris Blaha, is going to do a presentation about container gardens. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. So tomorrow at 11:30, right here on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, Chris Blaha is going to do a great presentation on container gardening. And you're right, Billy, that's a great solution for some of folks out there that might not have a yard, or somebody that just doesn't want to have all the maintenance that a garden might require. So it's a very cool solution. So we hope you'll join us tomorrow for sure at 11:30. Anything else you want the folks to know today, Billy?
No, I think that's about it. I just want to, again, issue a challenge. Kids, get out there and do something productive. Help your community, help your neighbors, and start your own victory garden.
Absolutely. I do see a question in the chat box about somebody has planted potatoes for the first time, and how do they know when they're ready to be harvested? And Jennifer, that's going to depend on the variety and depending on the information that you got from the seed potatoes that you planted. So the best advice I have is pull one and see if it's ready. And if it is, go ahead and pull the rest of them. But you could start with the guide that you were given when you planted. So there's a certain number of days to maturity typically with different varieties of potatoes, but they'll all be different. So I can't definitively answer your question without knowing what variety you've got planted. But if you're confused, pull one, take a look, and then you can harvest the rest. Thanks for that question.
Good answer.
All right. Well, that is it really then for today's episode of Live from Curry Tech Extension. Again, if you've got questions and you're watching us live, go ahead and post them in the comment box. If you're watching the recording of this video and you have questions, go ahead and shoot us an email or interact with us on social media. The contact information is in the description of the video. So we invite you to do that. There is a little 5-question evaluation also in the video description if you wouldn't mind filling that out for us. And again, don't miss tomorrow's session from the wonderful Christopher Blaha on container gardening. That'll be at 11:30 right here on the same channels. Adam, actually our agriculture agent, before we sign off, said, Jennifer, that another good way to tell if your potatoes are ready is that the stalks and the leaves often dry up and die off for potatoes. So Adam, thanks for jumping in as our esteemed agriculture agent to answer that question as well. All right. Billy, it was good to see you face to face. And everybody tune in tomorrow at 11:30 for container gardening. And we'll see you then. Don't miss it.